So here is a Pov of Temple Run, which we are going to be building today. You can even challenge your friends. Hi everyone! I want to make a start on the Golden Jungle area, and the first thing I'm going to build is a Temple Run coaster, and I'm going to sort of try to show you guys how to build it. So I was going to try for making the track itself be sort of 3 blocks wide. So you need to like build a track. So if we do it 3 blocks wide, we can switch tracks, which might look kind of awesome. I'm going to make it look like a proper temple run if I can. So that's gotta be, this is gonna be where the entrance is. I thought, sticking with a jungly theme, let's go for some mossy blocks. And I'm just gonna plan out the ride, starting with a really cool, big, nice, scary lift hill. You can see I've made sort of the straight bits and the hills where I want the ride to go up and down as much as I can. And I'm just going to fill in it so it makes 3 tracks. So you just fill in sort of along the edge, same as so you can match the other side like this. And then don't forget to do the little nifty trick with the minecart rail, so you know that when you do these bits, you're going to be able to get your 3 rails going all the way around like that. So now I know that when I put a track at the side of here, that the track's got to go all the way around in a circle like that. So yeah, this is sort of the next part. I'll just carry on with that. Parts of it I am going to have little humps in, so it looks like you can go up and down. So if I just do like a line of where I want the hump, but then maybe I might not want the hump on the next bit on the other track, so I might only want humps on certain parts of the tracks like that. So then some of the carts can go along like this, or some of them might just go along the side. Like that. And then I can decide at some point whether I want my minecart to go up onto the lump or whether I want it to switch and go to the side. And that sort of thing. And I can make these lumps as high as I want. So if I wanted to make another lump here like this, I can just do that and it'll just look like another lump. So I'm going to get on with making some of these lumps. Once you have your temple run set out, it's probably best to start laying out the rest of the track. My advice is to always start with the middle piece of track and organise the track at the beginning. Just have like a line there like that, and then to make sure the ends don't connect, just put 2 at each side so you know there's going to be track there. And we're going to fill this whole thing with just normal rail, just rail that doesn't have any power or anything, just normal rail, and just go round the whole track in the centre until the whole thing is connected. Like this. And you see how it's connected to here. So you just go in to the other end and we're back in the centre again from the 3 different tracks, and just keep going in the centre all the way around the track. Whee! Yeah, so once you've finished building the middle track, you need to go to the edge ones and just follow those ones all the way around like this. Try and do them in a straight line. See how the other one's just a straight line all the way around. That's what we're doing here. You want to do all of the different tracks. Oops. Oh. Why am I recording stopping? Oh, they're not. Yeah, so just keep doing that all the way around. So of course, once you've added all of your tracks and none of them are connecting to each other because they're all individual tracks, we can now work out which route we want to take, which is our favourite routes and which are the most thrilling routes. And the best way to do that is to decide which way your coaster's going to go. So mine's going this way, and I like to have like a little block to mark what I'm doing and where I want to pick my routes. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the arrow block like this. Just because that's easier for me, you can pick whichever block you want, but I have my reasons for that one. We're also going to get a minecart. Now, we've not added any power rails, so we haven't decided where the power rails are going to go just yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a minecart on each one at the top of the lift hills and just press forward on each one. Oops. Press forward on each one to see where I'd like it to go. So if I try this, test this one out first, and just keep holding forward. So that's kind of fun. See what this one does, and then just test each one. See, like this middle one. So for me, I quite personally like the middle track. And then I might want to go down onto the end track and then come up here. So I think that's what I'm going to decide to do. So what I'm going to do is just go set my arrow block so I know what I'm doing. So make sure that the arrows are facing forward, that, and then I'm going to go up this middle block, and then we're going to swipe down to get to this block. And I'm using basically the top of the arrows to work out where I'm going. And I'm going to go up here like this, and I think I'm going to swap to the end block like that. And then I'm just going to mark out, but you don't have to do it with the arrow blocks because there's a lot of arrows on them. You can do it with whatever block you want, or however you want to mark out your track. So I'm just going to get on with that now. Now I've planned out my route of where my different carts are going to go. Now, it probably looks a bit confusing, but I know where I'm going. When I want, so I'm going to decide to start my cart on the center track, because why not? The cart, if I put that there, like without powering it, that actually makes it so the cart doesn't move. So if I was to be in it, it just stops. That way I have like a starting point for testing my tracks. Now, to make a cart switch tracks, let's go to here where should I switch it? Let's switch something simple. Let's do this long line here. So if I want a cart to switch tracks, so I want it to get onto the center track from the edge track. You see where the arrow, so this is going to go boop, and then it's going to go forward here. So all I'm going to do is delete that cart, delete the track a few pieces, like that. And then, so it's going from this track here to this track. Just make the cart do it like that. And then you can put these two tracks back so it just looks straight again. And then you'll see that when I'm on here, if I start at the top of the lift hill here like this, I will move into the second lane, into the middle track like that. There we go. And we're going to do that all the way around. Once you've done that, you can test the experience by just holding forwards. So you just don't let go of forwards, because we haven't powered it yet. So you can see where we're going. Test the experience. Test how the tracks are getting switched. Probably realise you should have moved the minecarts first. So I now know that my cart is working. Just don't let go of that forward button or we end up going backwards, and that's a real pain. Get back to the beginning and you should land on the same track. Absolutely spiffing. Is make sure we got power to the ride so it runs without you having to hold that forward button after the initial first push. Now, depending on how many power rails you put, depends on how far the minecarts are pushed and how high they go, how fast. So if I had one power rail here and get in my minecart, for example, I'm only going to go this high. But what I could do is I could add more power rails going up, or I could add just one where we stopped, which was here. Now, really that's up to you. I mean, are you building this on a survival, are you building a creative? If I had 3 like this, that might take me to the top. Yeah, that takes me to the top, but it's a bit fast. I don't like how fast that is. So I'm just going kaboof with that. And this is a whole load of testing. So I've decided that I actually only want 2 power rails, so I can go up to the top and get there a little slower. Like that. So it sort of suspense before the action. I need to add another little boost there. There we go. I'm actually kind of happy with that. That actually only takes me onto this ledge here, so I'll probably do more on this. So you just power it how you feel you want to power it. I've changed my mind on the location of that activator rail. But can you see how like making little changes just makes it behave differently? So like, just by putting that just a little higher, it makes it just actually reach the top. If I put it a little higher than that, it'll make me reach the top a bit faster. So you just play around with the power rails until you have a working coaster. If you want, you can power the whole line other than the corners, because power rails don't turn corners, and make it go one consistent speed, or you can make it go slower, faster. You play with that. So once you've finished testing your temple run after adding the power rails, it seems mine didn't actually need as many power rails as I thought it might. You can now start adding the decorations. So it's up to you how you want to build your temple. So you can have like walls, you can build it out of trees, you can build it out of gold. There's so many blocks in the game that you can choose to build your temple out of. Just make sure that the entrance is visible from your paths. So my entrance is going to be like right here. So I'm going to make that look elaborate. I'll probably give you a little build tutorial if you're interested on that, and then yeah, I'll just build a small temple. The reason I'm doing the walls before the item pickups is because the item pickups are going to be coming from the roof. So I decided to get all the different types of blocks in my colour palette in different types of blocks, like that. So I've got plenty to play with, and I thought I'd start with the entrance. And I've decided that a stairs theme would be quite nice. I don't want to come too far out into the pathway. Because that wouldn't look too good. You've got to be able to get past here as well, so I've gone for this stairsy type of theme. Just to get it looking cool. So go up at each end like this. Let's get a mixture of blocks in. So I've only gone about 4 blocks high with my staircase. Again, it's up to you how you do your entrance, but it needs to stand out so people can see it and see that there's actually a ride to ride on. I'm trying to mix up the blocks so it looks proper. Put these 3 here, put that up, and then put, that's like an interesting sort of edgy bit. You could do something like that as your, yeah, I do quite like that actually. Yeah, I'm going to do that again on this side. So again, you can do what I'm going to do, or you can build your own entrance, whatever you want to do. I'll just shut up and let you look what I'm doing. See, that looks quite nice. Little way in. Might use this as the path. You don't have to watch this whole bit, you can just skip through it if you don't want to build this. Thinking about my gold. Let's put it here and here. That looks fancy. Cute little entrance bit. So I was thinking about like a fence piece. No. Not a fence piece. Got to put some decoration in it somehow. What shall we use? What's the Scream's temple that I don't use regularly? I'm just going to put the skeleton on there. Make a little skeleton head as a light. Yeah, that looks cool. Skeleton headlights on this side. Okay, need to do this side. I'm going to stick with that same theme actually, what I just did, like on the other side, because it looks nice. Lovely blues and stuff. Lovely blue temple colour. And that's sort of the bottom of the entrance, which looks lovely. Just for the sake of animals getting on, which does drive me a bit balmy, but because I got pigs rides and stuff, it's very hard to keep normal grass without having them spawn. I'm just going to put some fancy little gates as your entrance. And we can get in through the gate and jump on a cart. Oh, I need a step. Let's have a step. There we go, little step up. Boop, 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 in the cart. Cool. There we go. A little entrance. That looks okay. So here's the wall sort of theme that I'm going to go for. Which I quite like because it looks okay, I guess. And I'll just show you how to build a section of this. So we're going to need to place this type of block, 3 of them, and this type of block up here as well. Then move to the stairs pieces like this, and then 2 at the bottom. Then move to the prismarine wall and put 1 in each corner like this. Cobblestone wall to fill in the gaps so we get a little hole in the middle. for your piece of gold. Then put a line of Primzine there, then your cobblestone walls again, add your bars, add your torches and light them, and then we have another segment. Okay, so now I'm going to do a window so passers-by can look in and see some of the track ride. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that window out and make it come out like this a little bit so they can see. I'm going to use a similar colour palette to the one I just used. Let's do the same thing on top. Bring it out. Bring it out. And then make it look quite nice. Go along the edge. I just want to sort of let people see other players. So it looks quite nice. I'm going to make this look like it's connected too by doing that. Just kaboop, kaboop. Here and here. Here and here. I'll probably do some decoration in here later, but not right now. So this is going to be the ride window. Let's put some bars on the fourth one from the end. Is that right? Yep. And the second one from the end. Oops. And then I'm going to go for some glass. I'm going to pick grey. Oops. Completely forgot that that did that. Okay, grey and just standard white. And just design some glass. This is something that you can do however you want as well. You don't have to use glass, you can use fence pieces. You could use anything. I mean, I guess as long as people can't actually walk through it, you could just put a piece of fence to stop people getting in or something like that. Just give it a boop. And then the last bit, we just fill in the middle. And this gives people something to look at if they're walking past. Just finish this piece of glass like that, and there we have a temple window that admittedly looks kind of weird, but whatever. Should put some of these bits on top, just two, like that, and there we have it. I'm also going to do a fancy corner, just because. It'll probably look quite nice. If I do a fancy corner like this. to stick with the same theme. No, that's wrong. Put that there. There we go. I know what I'm doing. It's too high. Let's go down one. There we go. And then I'm going to put these bits. Got my updates are coming in. Just fill in this corner like this, and then on the inside of here, just put that. Just get that in the middle. Same bit here. Then I'm gonna do it like that, so it looks fancy. And there's the bottom of the corner that I want to do, little temple corner. Oh, could add this bit. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, do that. So, and I'll finish the walls at the bottom. I'm going to do an upper wall, which is going to look like this. And then that's going to go all the way around the entire build. Same as the bottom one has, or should have done. So sticking with those candle themes at the top again, which are actually lit because I just lit them, but it's not showing me the... Oh, there we go. So I'll just give you a little tutorial of this. This is the colour palette, which is similar to the colour palette at the bottom, apart from not the Primazine wall. So just get rid of that. Right, so what you want to do is you need to make a pillar like this. Cobblestone, mossy cobblestone, cobblestone. Again, you don't have to build this if this is not what you want, but it's just an idea. Put your 3 things at the top, light them. Then go for a cobblestone here, a cobblestone here, cobblestone wall along the bottom, up this side and this side, and then one just there, and then our iron bars simply just go in the middle. And now we have 2. Now I've got the upper wall done. The whole thing's done, apart from this bit. At the top of the stairs I've just put some fence pieces and some upside down stair pieces. And I've carried this across. I'm just going to show you how I'm going to do this inside bit. I'm not going to do anything too jiggly and fancy. But all I'm going to do is... try to make this look interesting. A couple of pieces in. Let's drop this from the top. Let's pick a colour. Let's go for the gold again. And then just steel bars it all the way around. That's what I thought I'd do. And then see how that looks. You can always change it if I don't like it. Again, you could always do something different that inspires you if there's anything that don't inspire you on it. But I quite like it. Oh, this bit here you don't have to listen to this bit because I made a mistake. See, I have a monorail station here, which I've planned on coming out this way, and it was supposed to go straight across the map to this white dot roughly here, which is going to be the next monorail station. But I started building this and haven't planned it very carefully, so the monorail's just going to go through the ride. Not something that you need to worry about. It was my mistake. I'm just going to do the rest of the upper wall, and then we should probably get the redstone and all the dispensers and that in to make the collection bits for, you know, the coins and stuff that the temple run actually has, what you collect. So I'm just going to get on with that. Okay, so got as far as the rest of the wall completed. Some of my trackway went a bit sort of on the outside into the rest of my theme park, so I've sort of cut it out so the track sort of runs underneath it, and then made it look sort of like it's ruined, and hopefully this vine will grow down and it'll look like a ruined part of the temple. I even went out of my way to not put any more torches on here as well. But what we really need to know is how to finish the actual inside of the track. So we're going to work out how to do the redstone. So you need to pick a colour for the roof. I'm going to pick on like a mossy cobblestones, just some different types of flat stones. Yeah, that'll do. And I'm just going to build the roof. So what I'm going to try and do is build it in line with my track. And it is going to be one just underneath. You see how it's just one level? So the bit that's in line with my track, I'm just going to do it in the same colour. And I'm going to try and follow the track where the track goes. But not exactly with every single turning, but just sort of so I know which track my roof is on. I'm just trying to think whether my roof is going to be high enough if I carry on this. So you could that's the beauty of it. You can always make it a bit higher as well if you need to. I mean, I do have some quite high trackway, but I think it's alright. I can work that out after. Just keep following the track. For now. You might not have that issue. It's an issue that I've come across during my build. So, but the reason that we're following the track is because this was the part where all the droppers are going to actually be attached to. So, and then when they drop items, hopefully it'll land on the track. That's what I'm hoping for. Quite badly. I mean, it's worked in the past when I've done something like this. So far I know that I'm on this track. And then let's just do a square like this. We've moved on to the inside track. So, not quite in line with it yet. Yep, I'm in line with it now. And then down here somewhere it's going to move across one as well. And I'm just going to keep following the track along as much as I can until I work out how to. So I'm just going to do that. You should have something that sort of looks like this above your track, and you haven't filled in the roof. Because now you're going to build something that looks a bit like this, so that when it is powered, it drops your collectibles roughly onto the track. So, you see how they're roughly on the track? So when your minecart goes along, we can collect them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start placing these things down. So all you're going to do is get your item, your dropper that you want, some redstone dust, and an item that you actually want to drop. So pick something from the items list that you want them to collect. Could be pieces of gold, could be gold nuggets, it could be amethyst, it could be boats, whatever you want them to drop. Could have like special drops that they can potentially collect, that you can wear, special things, clock, whatever, and just put them. So all you're going to do is find a stretch of track where you want the drops to be. Potentially we're going to do this on every change. So every time the track changes, more drops. Track changes, more drops. And then it'll look like you're actually moving to accompany this. So pick gaps like this. Get the dropper, go underneath. Attach the dropper to the roof like this. Get your item that you want to drop, whatever it might be. I'm going to use this, and then just fill them into the droppers like so. I'm just going to move them in roughly so I can show you what I'm doing. So there's the items you want to drop, and then simply crouch and put the redstone on top of everything. If you want to test it, you can add a redstone signal just to test if it works. There we go. A handful of things have dropped. Yeah, it doesn't drop in a straight line, like without putting the redstone underneath the track and making the track extremely thin. It didn't look right, so I prefer to do it above and let them drop and see how many we can pick up throughout the ride, and see maybe our friends could pick more up. Whatever, that's good. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on doing this. Okay, so once you've got all your redstone and all of your droppers, and they've all got loads of stuff in to drop and collect when you go around a minecart, you should end up with something looking like this. Now what we need to do is make it so it works. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make some special thing. Just a redstone signal that goes up onto that layer of roofing like so. And I've decided that each of these is actually going to drop 2 times, I think. I hope. Do them 2 times to make sure that there's plenty, as if there isn't already plenty. We'll do a little redstone signal like that. May as well make it so it comes up here. It needs to go to roof height, which is here. Just gotta make sure, oops, that's high enough. So what I used there was the detector rail at each side, a redstone circuit going to here, and I'm just going to double check it works when I push a minecart onto it. There we go, and there's my signal. Cool. Then what we're going to do is we're now going to fill in the rest of the ceiling. So let's get our whatever colours we're using for the ceiling, and we're going to make it look like a ceiling. So if I just sort of do mine, just basically just filling in the gaps. So I've just filled in all the ceiling to the temple. It looks a bit like this underneath. Just loads of holes. But it's necessary. Now, we have all this redstone, but it's not connected or anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get one repeater, put it like that, and I'm going to put a button. I'm not going to put the button there though, I'm going to put the button here. And then when I do that, it'll light up that repeater. And then I don't have to keep driving a minecart over here to test whether it works, because I know that the redstone gets to here. It's whether it gets from to the rest of it. So we're going to need repeaters, redstone repeater, redstone dust, and a magma button. And we're just going to try to build a circuit to connect all of the dots, basically, so that everything works. I'm going to try to put more redstone around the areas, redstone repeaters, just to make sure that the signal's going to carry throughout. I don't have to do it any particular way. See, as long as that gets to there, that should be good. So let's just make sure this is going to get down here. We'll put a repeater here. Let's put one here. Go across here. And so make sure that you're actually pointing your repeater as well to face the direction. So if your electricity is travelling this way, your little repeater needs to look like it's going this way. So you just look in the direction you want it to go and just put it. Don't put it on top of any of the dispensers though, otherwise they won't dispense anything. Just sort of doesn't work like that. I've changed my mind. I'm going to test it with the lever actually instead of the button, just because the lever, I can turn it on and actually see it switched on. Just a bit, look. Put a repeater here. Oops. Yeah, right. Gotta turn it on and see if I've missed any. Click. So that's not connected for some reason. Well, that's not working, I will never know. Oh, because I don't quite go far enough. Okay, it goes to, yeah, oh, that's lit up. That's lit up right to the very end. Oops. That's lit up to the end. I think all of them are done. Oh no, and not that one, so we just put one here. Just to make sure that works. It looks like to me that everything's lit up nicely. Even this bit. So the next test is whether they drop when a minecart runs across it. So we're going to test that now. Got a lot of... I changed it to gold blocks because you can see them. So I'm just going to do a quick test to see if it runs when a minecart goes across. And that is perfect. That's exactly what I'm wanting. And then yeah, that works. So the next bit is simply to decorate the actual inside of the temple and decorate the roof. And since I've got all these dropped things, I'm not going to decorate the inside first. So I'm going to start with the outside, and I've decided the roof is going to be just in these colours here. And I'm going to do a pyramid, which the basics of a pyramid is to go all the way around the edge like that in however many blocks, and then do one up all the way around that whole edge of the wall. So I'm just going to keep it nice and simple. If you want to do 2 blocks in before you go up again, you just do 2 blocks in like that and then go up. And if you want to do 2 blocks high, same principle really, just 2 blocks high. And then you can make your pyramid. Or again, you can do whatever roof you feel like you need to do. I'm just going to keep it simple because the roof's not really something that I'm going to see. So I'm just going to do that. Tested the ride and I got a whole load of stacks of random things. So I'm going to build a little sort of box to stack them in, to put them all into. Just here. If I can find what I'm looking for. Around that in a sec. So I'm just going to write on there in a second. But you can basically just throw them all into here, and they just get collected into there. Unless there's anything you want to keep that as a keepsake, whatever. Yeah, just get some nice pink like colour. Let's call it oh, actually, let's just call it a block bin. Block collection. Block collection. Oh, let's put a little sort of down arrow on there as well. Can make it go down a bit further, make it look better actually. There we go. Block collection, and we can just keep stuff in there. There we go. You should probably see that when we stop anyways. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so now I'm going to make the banner tops for to write Temple Run in bigger words. So let's start with a T. I'm going to do it in lighter blue. So there's the ones that you need to do. Oops. So there's my T for temple. Oh. So do E's. E, M. I'll do the M. M's a harder one. Oops. But it still looks okay. Do fancy. I like doing these fancy banner bottoms. They look quite nice. So it's M, P. How did I do this earlier? P. Oh, I know how. P. Oops. P. So it's just really about making shapes. Do an L. L's easy. I don't know if you guys can hear the cat. She is meowing. So you do the shapes and then you add the little banner at the bottom afterwards, and then the edge. That's our L, and obviously we already have an E, so we just need to make an R. R's are difficult, I think. I don't like doing R's very much. Don't think I can add the bottom of the banner to the R actually, because it takes too many spaces. But that's fine. Got the R in. Gotta get the U. For room. Do the bottom bits again. R, O, and then the N just here as the last letter. Just do that. I thought I'd show you how to do this bit, because why not? And now we're going to go put it on. Temple. Let's put run. And I'm going to leave these in a little hidden chest somewhere in the... just in case anything ever happens on creative mode and I lose it. So it's always a good idea just to hide a little chest somewhere on the map with your bits in. Ta-da! I think that looks quite nice. You couldn't miss it.